It's 1998, and I'm in Sydney, and I'm over there doing film and television, and I get a phone call, and it's my mum. And that's kind of what she likes to do. She likes to keep in regular contact with me and my siblings. We're spread out all around the world. So I get on the phone. Hey, Mum, what's up? Mum says, hi, son. How's things? Oh, yeah, it's all good. Your dad wants to talk to you. I freak, all right? Because I haven't had a very good relationship with my father for the 8 years previous when I decided to become an actor. And so I'm like, okay, get on the phone. Hey, son, I saw you on TV. You did this water rats thing. You played a killer, a Tongan man who killed someone for dishonoring your family. And I'm like, there we go. He's gonna knock me. My Tongan wasn't up to his standards. He's gonna tear me a new one. He's gonna lambast me for that. And then he goes, it was pretty good, son. You should give this thing a go. I was like, Dad, I've been acting for like 8 years. This is what I do, Dad. He was like, yeah, your mother wants to talk to you. That was it. That was like 17 years ago. 25 years now, a quarter of a century. I've been acting, writing, directing, teaching, film and television. It's been a pretty rough road. I could have liked to say that I wished that I'd been more prepared for it. But I think in spite of all the hard work and all the focus and all the concentration that I would have given it, I really don't think I had a say in the matter. And that was always my destiny. You know, I had a different kind of destiny when I was growing up around the streets of South Auckland, Pearl Baker Drive, Mayfield Primary, Clover Park Intermediate, playing rugby for East Stomachy. Oh, I love that, stealing the bread from the Tip Top factory behind behind the rugby clubs. And I was going to be a rugby playing lawyer, like my childhood idol, which was Brian Williams, right? And he was the first Samoan All Black. And that's what my father had. That was his dream for me. And so that was going to be my destiny. But then I got contacted to do an audition for a new television program called Shortland Street. And I went along with 5 of my Samoan friends that played for Ponsonby Rugby Club. And we all did the audition. And then afterwards, we all went to Parnell and had $10 chicken sandwiches because we thought that's what actors do. Well, the actors that can afford to, for the rest, yeah. Anyway. And I was lucky enough, I got the job. And when I say I was lucky because I didn't really care about it because I didn't know. I didn't realize the hard work or anything. It was just something that happened. And so I thought, yeah, this acting thing ain't no thing. Yeah. We had opening night on television, and there was kind of a big thing. It was back in the day, like this is how old it was. There was only like 2 channels, I think. I don't think TV3 had even started. And so it was a big thing. We had all the extended family around. We had aunties, uncles, cousins, my grandma, she was still alive, God rest her soul. She was all there, and everybody was all around, and family was all sitting around. And I was like, shh, Ren's going to be on Shortland Street. Ren's going to be on Shortland Street. And I was like, yeah, man. And the balloons, it stuck in my mind, the balloons and streamers were there. And it's just like, and then the show started, and I played a paramedic, ambulance driver, and there was a poor pregnant woman had a car crash on the way to deliver her baby, as what happens. And so the ambulance had to pull up, and so the ambulance pulls up, and I jump out of the ambulance and go, look at you. Better get her to Shortland Street. Because that was my acting, right? Because I'd never done any acting before. It was dead silent. It was dead silent in the room. And then my kid brother goes, oh, you suck. And then the whole room just like exploded into laughter. And like every time it was like, just here he comes, here he comes. I just wanted the world to swallow me up. I was the worst. I'd let down my family, I'd let down my community, I'd let down my neighborhood. I could feel my dad sitting in the corner watching us going, "You give up your rugby for that?" And, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. I had to grow up. I was a young man. I wasn't ready. I was 20 years old. I had no idea. So what could I do? Instead of just, I thought, bright idea, I'm going to write. Except I'd never written anything before either. I'd never written. Anyway, some of my scripts got seen, and then I got selected for a film school in Amsterdam called the Binger Film Lab. And they select 12 filmmakers from around the world to go and give these, getting ready to shoot their first films. And there was, a prize-winning, award-winning novelist from Time magazine from Morocco, voted one of the top young novelists from the year, to watch out for. There was an Argentinian photographer who had set up exhibitions in Museum of Modern Art and stuff like that in New York. And there was me from South Auckland, Sam from Shortland Street. Anyway, I topped the class, and then I had to come back home and prepare to shoot a television series about coming out of South Auckland, and it was about the markets. And it was really interesting when I went there because nobody in the production crew had ever been to South Auckland or the markets. And again, it was just the voice. I could have shut up. I could have just walked out. But I was like looking in the room going, "You all phony dudes, man." And so I had this responsibility just come on my shoulders. And then I went. And so I fought. I fought TVNZ because I wanted the material to be how I wanted, because I wanted to represent my people with how I could. Again, this was not what I planned. I was going to be like a rugby player kind of guy or whatever. And then it was just something that I had to do. It was kind of like destiny was knocking on my door and forcing me to saying, "You got to shape up, you got to step up." Which led me, the series went all right, but I was accepted then to go on to higher things, and that was a film called The Last Saint. And The Last Saint is a film which comes really from my neighborhood, and it deals with methamphetamine and the scourge that it is and how it affects people, and it's just a horrible, horrible curse in society. And the powers that be told me that I should not direct the film. I should not be making a film like this for my first film. I was committing career suicide, that the actors couldn't act in it. There was no audience for the film. Now, for me, that's just like I was saying, you effectively are telling me that I don't exist. So, again, I wish I was more financial savvy or whatever. I could have gone to LA and played a Mexican drug dealer or whatever. But I was so dumb because I just couldn't. I had to stay and take on the fight. And it was my destiny again to go on and make the film. And then when we made the film, the organisers of the New Zealand Film Festival said, "It's not a film festival film." I was like, "Oh, you're good, man. You're really testing me through this one." So it wasn't a festival film. Anyway, so I've been to Sydney, Melbourne, New York, Toronto with the film, and Oklahoma. And for me, it gave me one of the most important things and one of the most important memories in my life was when I presented the film to the Comanche tribe, because I was invited as a guest to the Oklahoma Native Film Festival. And I was able to share my film with this most amazing race of indigenous people who are just, they're artists, they're poets, they're entertainers. But they are a people that has been systematically smashed down, oppressed by the government across in the US. And yet they saw my film and they were empowered by my film. And it gave me a moment I'll never forget, because I finally realized, like, that's what I'm supposed to do now. It sort of kind of makes sense. So yeah, you can work hard, you can be absolutely focused, you can give yourself all the drive, and you can get to that front door. And sometimes it seems that only luck will get you through that door. And sometimes, again, sheer will and persistence, you'll be able to blow the hinges off that door. But it's my belief that you have to find, your destiny will come and get you. And it's up to you to be prepared for when it does. And just be prepared to get smacked down, knocked around, because they can't understand, because it's a lonely walk. But it's your calling, and you've got to go for it. So, yeah, just going back to that little kid that was sitting next to me when Shortland Street first opened, he said, "Oh, you suck." That was my younger brother, Jole. And I remember at the time thinking, "Oh, mate, it's acting. You got no idea if you would ever try it." Yeah, Joe's just finished filming Game of Thrones. And he's off in LA at the moment, filming a Western. But his destiny, he was a rugby player like myself, and he had his knee smashed. And I remember him calling me when I was in film school in Amsterdam, and he was beside himself crying. And he said, "Ren, my career's over, my knee's totaled, what can I do?" It's a hell of a thing when you hear someone so close to you and their heart is breaking. And I said to him, "You're an actor. You just don't know it yet." And he came back and he starred in The Markets with me, and then he starred in The Last Saint with me. And then when I was in Oklahoma, he was in LA on the red carpet with Mum for the red carpet gala premiere of the Game of Thrones. So you see this whole thing about destiny, you know. So anyway, I always go back to the words of my dad, you know, when he says to me, you know, "You should give it a go." And it's really funny watching Dad watch Game of Thrones, because he's like, "Oh, it's quite full on, this thing." But yeah, actually, I will tell you this. First time Joe got cast in Game of Thrones, he said, "What are you going on there for? You don't need more money," because he thought it was a game show. His pops, man, he's up to date. But what he said to me was, he said, "You should give it a go." And that is what I'm going to be doing forever, is giving it a go. And always representing South Auckland and my people, because it's my people that made me and who I represent. So thank you very much.